Hi beautiful souls, welcome back, or if you're new to the channel, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Cade and today I am back with another pick card reading. Today's reading is going to be all about what your blockages are and how to work through those blockages. So we're really going to be looking at what seems to be like halting you or stalling you in life, and then we're going to kind of investigate into what the blockage is. Then we're going to kind of channel some information around what we can do to move through those blockages. Okay, so I think this is going to be a very I wouldn't say fun reading, but it's going to be very helpful is kind of my goal here, is to kind of help you identify what's going on within you and inside of you that you feel is stopping you from being successful. Then we're going to talk about what you can do to kind of work through those blockages so that you can be the best version of yourself. Before we get started, guys, I do want to say that currently I am working on setting up a more permanent studio. I want to start filming my face again, but right now I'm just not able to do that. So I'm kind of just filming on the table until further notice, but I really do want to switch back to filming my face as well because I love connecting with you guys on that more personal level, and I really miss doing that. So keep a heads up for that. And also, guys, you can check out my TikTok if you want to get more quick little readings. They're just kind of very fast, quick tarot readings. If that's something you guys are looking for, you can check me out on TikTok. And also, if you want to connect with me a little bit more personally outside of my spiritual life as well, you can also check me out on Instagram. So welcome in. Okay, I think I already said that, but today, guys, we're going to be doing 4 different piles. I actually don't have any crystals with me, but I thought we could just kind of tune into the energy of the cards. Pile 1, you did get 2 cards, and I thought these cards were just absolutely beautiful. Look at that sunset. So let's get started. Before we get started, guys, go ahead and close your eyes, ground your energy, take a few deep breaths, and just ask your spirit guides to guide you towards the pile or the card that is most going to resonate with you. So pile number 1 is right here, guys, and pile 1, you actually were the only pile that got 2 cards. So pile 1, pile number 2 is here, pile number 3, and then pile number 4 is over here. So take as much time as you need, and we are going to go ahead and dive into pile number 1. I'll see the rest of you beautiful souls at your pile. Hi beautiful souls that chose pile 1, or if you chose the pile with 2 cards, welcome in, guys. We're going to be seeing what your blockages are and kind of how you can work through those blockages. So let's go ahead and get started with your cards. We're also going to be shuffling tarot and some other oracle cards to dive a little bit deeper into your message. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have surrender comparisons with other people, as well as surrender your addictions. I feel this feeling of you always feeling that you're never going to be as good as others, honestly. It's like you guys are always going to downplay yourself. Not always, but that's what you're currently doing. I feel like you downplay yourself. So, for example, it's almost this feeling of like you could be doing the exact same thing as somebody else, but it's almost like you're always going to see what this other person is doing right, but you're always going to see what you're doing wrong. So there's this feeling of needing to give up your comparison to other people because what you have to offer is uniquely different than others. Is what other people have to offer good? Yes, of course it is. But what Spirit is wanting you to recognize is that what you have to offer the world is also good because it's uniquely different. Like it's unique and it's only something that you're going to be able to offer. So I think what Spirit is telling me is that you need to start looking at yourself as like being rare. I feel like you guys don't see yourself as rare. I feel like you almost consider yourself to be like, you know, no different than the person beside you. Like, why does it matter if I do it versus them? Like, it's almost like you guys need to start understanding that you're rare and what you have to offer the world is different than what others have to offer, and you're going to be able to help people in a unique way. So although there may be, I'm also getting another message. You may be wanting to do something like in a certain field, but you feel like that particular career field is maybe very crowded. So you're kind of almost feeling like, how am I going to stand out when there's millions of other people doing what I want to do? But it's kind of like this feeling of like, there may be a lot of grocery stores. I don't know why Spirit is telling me this. You're like, oh, but there's already Walmart. But maybe you're going to offer something different from Walmart. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's, you know, you want to start a jewelry shop or make bracelets, but you're like, oh my gosh, so many people make bracelets. But the way that you make bracelets is going to be different than the other people. So you needing to understand that what you have to offer is unique and is different and is going to serve people in a different way. I'm not saying that what other people have to offer isn't good, but you also need to recognize that what you have to offer is also good and is also different. So you and another person are never going to be the same. I'm kind of getting with this imagery, it's almost like you guys hide yourself, because it's almost like you feel as if I show my true self, why would people want to watch me? Or why would people want to listen to me? Like, what's the difference between me and this person over here? And I think that's something that you guys really need to let go of, is like what you have to say, what you have to offer, what you have to show the world is just, it's going to be different. And that's why people are going to connect to you versus this other person, because no two people are the same. No two people's talents are the same. And there is this strong message of you needing to recognize that you're rare and that you're different and that you're unique. And another energy that I'm getting is you needing to recognize that you're special. We also do have surrender your addictions. So, you know, maybe there is some sort of an addiction problem that you have. This could be with anything, guys. It could be overworking, shopping, you know, anything that also needs to be worked through. But with these two cards right beside each other, I almost want to say there's this addiction to looking at other people and seeing all the amazing things in other people, even though those people also have flaws. But you only seem to recognize the flaws within yourself. It's like you see everything that you do wrong, but you always see everything that other people do right. You know what I mean? It's like, when do you ever give yourself a pat on the back? If that makes sense. And I feel like with your blockages, something that you guys could start doing is saying a couple of good things about yourself. You know, like, oh my gosh, you know, my hair looks good. Or like, I have pretty eyes. Something that is good about you. And also maybe even repeating affirmations on things that you are doing right. Spirit is just saying you need to know that you're different and that you're unique. I feel like you're hiding yourself. It feels like you're hiding your truest self, pile one. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this with some tarot, but that's honestly what it feels like. And it feels like this blockage could just be a fear of, you know, this feeling of like, okay, so say you want to release music. Well, why would people listen to my music over, I don't know, like Beyonce or Taylor Swift? But it's also like you needing to understand that what you have to offer the music industry is going to be different than what they have to offer. And you needing to recognize that's why people would buy your music, is because you do it differently. Okay. So let's also dive into some tarot on what your blockages are, pile one, and how you can kind of work through them. I want to go a lot deeper into this message. Spirit, please give us some clarity around what pile one's blockages are and how they can work through it. I'm almost getting, I feel like you guys should go listen to the song Rare by Selena Gomez. It's like, you guys need to recognize you're rare. That's the main energy that I'm getting. Okay, let's see what we've got. We got the Three of Wands. There's so many things that you guys long to do. It's like, I almost want to say there's a long list of things that you just wish you could do. And it's like, why are you not giving yourself permission to do them? It's kind of this feeling. It's like, you're almost not giving yourself permission to do the things that you want to do for some reason. It's like a feeling of, well, I want to do that, but for some reason I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's like, why are we waiting? Is kind of the energy that I'm getting. There could be multiple different reasons why you're waiting, but that's the kind of feeling. It's like you guys feel more comfortable watching other people do what you want to do rather than just doing things yourself. Is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. It's like it's almost easier for you to just watch other people sing than to actually get up on the stage and do the singing yourself. But the feeling that I'm getting with you, pile one, is you almost just need to go ahead and get on the stage and do it yourself. Is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. But I think the reason you guys are not getting up on that stage and expressing your truth is because part of you feels like you're not going to be listened to, or part of you feels like people aren't going to pay attention to you. Like you feel like people won't listen to me. You know, why would they listen to me when they have this other person to listen to over here? So it's honestly goes down honestly to needing to recognize that what you have to say is also worthy, you know? It's just as worthy as the other person over here. So let's see, Spirit, please give us some clarity around pile one and what blockages they're having. Okay, we also have the Six of Swords as well as the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so the good thing about the Six of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, it says that you're making progress. So I feel like honestly, another problem that you guys could be facing is you could be moving away from some sort of a toxic ex in your past or some sort of toxic situations that you've dealt with in your past. The Six of Swords to me can talk a lot about emotional trauma and moving out of emotional trauma. So it's also this feeling of you needing to know that in this current moment, you are doing the best that you can because at least you're moving out of it, okay? I do feel like there have been some shaky things that have happened in your past, but I feel like you've done a good job to move away from them. I feel like this is what this addictions could be about. There's been a lot of things that you have struggled with in the past, maybe some sort of, why am I getting like a toxic ex? But the good thing about this is you are slowly and steadily moving away from it. So the good thing is you are making progress. I feel like you're definitely making progress like with emotional situations, but there's also this feeling of you needing to recognize that like for some of you that you're worthy of like making money. Is another energy that I'm getting, is like you needing to recognize that you're worthy of making money. Okay, let's see. What is this Three of Wands? Spirit, what blockages does pile one have? Let's see. What blockages does pile one have? Three of Wands, please. Yeah, we have the Lovers in the reverse. Okay. Let me go ahead and shuffle out the other two cards. Six of Swords. The Hermit reverse. Okay. Four of Swords. We also have the Sun in the reverse. So honestly, I feel like the reason some of you have honestly been hesitating when it comes to taking action around, you know, kind of like more career-oriented things is I think you guys have been dealing with a lot of like relationship stuff, especially with the Lovers in the reverse. I feel like maybe in your recent past, you've worked really hard at separating yourself from things that are not making you happy. So it's almost like this feeling of needing to separate yourself from relationships and people that don't make you happy so that you can start doing things that do make you happy is kind of the energy that I'm getting. I feel like with the Hermit in the reverse, I feel like you guys have been in a very dark place when it comes to your spiritual growth, but I think you guys are almost ready to come out of the dark and kind of move into the light and kind of show people, you know, who you truly are. I kind of feel like you guys have kept a lot of what you want to say to yourself, especially with this Hermit card energy. It's almost like there's been so many things that you've wanted to say. There's been so many things that you've been wanting to do, but it's almost this feeling of like, I want to say like it could be around relationships, like you feeling like there were too many other things going on in your life, so you felt like you couldn't focus on yourself. But now that you're moving away from people and relationships that don't serve you, it's almost this feeling of you being able to focus on yourself a little bit more. I'm getting this strong energy that you guys are going to be focusing on yourself a little bit more, where I don't feel like you've done that in the past. I think you've had a lot of people in your life that have not served you, but you've worked very hard on moving away from those people, especially with the Sun card in the reverse. I think honestly, you're almost dealing with things that are not making you emotionally happy so that you guys can focus more on yourself and so that you can focus more on kind of career kind of stuff and maybe even like creative stuff. I feel like with this Four of Swords, I almost want to say you guys have been sitting on some very good ideas. It kind of is tying into this Three of Wands energy. Like you guys kind of sit, watch, and wait. There's a lot of things that you want to do, but you kind of sit and wait. Is kind of this energy that I'm getting. And I do feel like Spirit is calling you to be a little bit more action oriented. Even if you're taking baby steps. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow energy. So I feel like if you guys are not quite ready to make a full jump, if you guys are not quite ready to make a full leap, take baby steps, because I can see, I feel like you guys are going through a lot of emotional stuff. The Six of Swords is this feeling of like, I've been hurt in the past. And maybe some of you are still dealing with some pain from the past, which is why you're not feeling very enthusiastic lately to maybe put yourself out there or do things that make you feel happy, just because maybe lately you've been feeling in such a low place. The Hermit card can talk about isolation, you know? Maybe you've been isolating yourself a lot lately, thinking about the past, thinking about who's hurt you in the past, thinking about all the relationships that you've lost over the years. And maybe that's why you've kind of been keeping to yourself a little bit, because you're almost trying to bring yourself out of I don't want to say a depression, but kind of maybe a more lonely period. Okay, but I think you're working on that. It's almost like you're working on emotional pain right now so that you can be in a better headspace to do some of the things that you've always wanted to do. I almost want to say the reason also that maybe you guys have not been taking as much action is because it's hard to take action when you're not feeling happy. It's hard to take action when you're feeling a little bit sad. It's hard to take action when you're feeling a little bit depressed, you know? And I also feel like you guys have been reminiscing a lot lately on your past and on people that used to be in your life, friendships that used to be in your life. So maybe you're kind of working on cutting ties with some people, cutting ties with some things from your past. I can definitely see that with the Six of Swords, moving away from things that are causing you stress, moving away from things that are causing conflict and pain, which is not easy. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like you're moving away from that so that you can focus a little bit more on yourself. And I want to say so that you can focus a little bit more on your career or moving forward in terms of either like career or money, okay? I almost want to say you guys are kind of shifting perspectives, like maybe taking a break on emotional stuff right now, maybe taking a break on romantic relationships right now so that you can shift in a place where you're working on yourself. And for some of you, you're just going to be more focused on working on your dreams. I do want to clarify, get 2 more cards, please. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take this Seven of Wands. In the reverse. Okay, I'm gonna put that back. I didn't know if that was reversed or upright. Okay, we have the Ten of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, Six of Cups. And the Five of Cups. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting. It's almost this feeling of like, kind of like you guys are starting this new chapter in your life where you're kind of almost having to leave behind some people that disappointed you in your past. And it's almost like Spirit is saying it's going to take a little bit to start again because you're working through a lot of pain. You're working through all of that pain, all of that disappointment that this person caused you, and maybe you're even experiencing some feelings of regret. But the good thing is you are working through that. but it kind of almost feels like some of the people that you thought you were going to leave a legacy with, it's almost like you did not realize that that person was no longer going to be in your life. So it's almost like you're trying to rewrite a storyline for yourself, because the storyline you previously wrote included this person, and then it's like this person left your life, and so now you're trying to almost rewrite your storyline without that person. And I do think that is going to take some time, but I do think you guys are slowly making progress, because it's almost this feeling of like you guys don't want to be sad anymore. Who does? But it's like, it's hard to just snap out of it. You know what I mean? I think there are so many things that you guys are ready to start taking action on. But again, it's hard to take action when you're feeling a little sad. Okay, let's get some angel cards for you guys. Passion. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you guys are passionate about. There's a lot of things that clairaudience as well. So some of you may be opening up in terms of your spiritual gifts. We have clairaudience and clairvoyance here. Maybe that's opening up some of your psychic abilities, but you guys are really figuring out what you're passionate about. I want to say that a lot of your passions and a lot of the vision that you had for your life used to be connected to another person. But now that that person is no longer in your life, or now that those people are no longer in your life, you're almost like figuring out what makes you happy without that other person. Because I almost want to say in the past, you guys have had to compromise, but now it's like you don't have to compromise anymore. You don't have to compromise your happiness for someone else's happiness. And so you're kind of trying to figure out, you know, what you want to do with your life, what direction you want to go in. And you're kind of rediscovering your passion for life and your passion for just different things that you guys might want to do and try out. Okay, Spirit, let's get an oracle card. Wonders. It's almost like you guys are rediscovering the world. It's like leadership. Okay, perfect. Let's tie, this is perfect to kind of, it's almost like you guys are becoming the leader of your life. And I'm not saying that you weren't previously, but I don't think you guys have ever had this much control over your life. And I don't think you guys have ever had this much power over your life. So it's natural to want to say, who am I to be in this leadership position? You know what I mean? Who am I to be in this leadership position? Who am I to be in this powerful position? So I think it's very natural for you to maybe compare yourself to other people in leadership positions and maybe think that they're better leaders or they have more control over their life. But I think you guys are almost going to just naturally recognize that you're very gifted. I think you're going to start naturally recognizing your leadership abilities, and you're going to start just recognizing, wow, I'm powerful too. And you're also going to recognize, wow, I didn't need any of those people in my life. Because I almost want to say that you guys thought you had to have certain people in your life to be happy, but you're realizing like you can be happy with just you, okay? And it's really allowing you to step into this leadership role because you're recognizing that you really don't need anyone but yourself. And I think that's been a long, hard journey for you, and you've had to go through a lot of, you know, learning. You've had to go through a lot of pain to recognize like, wow, I'm strong. Like, I'm a strong ass bitch is kind of the energy that I'm getting. And I think that's been kind of like a long journey for you guys. I can definitely see that with the Six of Swords. It's definitely been very slow progress to recognize that I don't need that person in the past. And so you're slowly moving away from the past. It's kind of the energy that I'm getting. So let's see a Moonology card for you. And we have a time to give rather than take, and prosperity lies ahead. So guys, how to work through these blockages, I definitely think that if you want to start getting more courage, you're just going to have to start taking action. I think the more energy you give into your dreams, I think the more energy you give into the things that you truly want to do with your life, the more confident you're going to become. So, yeah, that was a beautiful reading, guys. Let me know if that resonated down in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. I'm gonna go to move on to pile 2. Hi beautiful souls that chose pile 2, or this card right here. We're gonna flip it over in just a moment. Welcome in, guys. Today we're just gonna be seeing what your blockages are and kind of how you can move through those blockages. So I feel like this is gonna be a super helpful reading, at least that's my intention. So let's go ahead and dive in. You guys have surrender to what is. Okay, I love this card already. Surrender to what is, just because this person looks so peaceful. So this says flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So I'm getting actually a few different messages with this. Some blockages that you guys have. I feel like some of you want people to be different than what they are. This could be your parents, this could be some of your friends, maybe even your siblings, maybe even a romantic partner. And it's almost like this feeling of, I almost want to say that you guys give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay, well, they'll be better next time. Or you almost see people as what they could be. You guys see the potential in people. You guys see the potential in situations. Very much a rose-colored glasses kind of energy, like you want to see the best. Like I wanna say, you guys see right to a person's heart. You see everything that that person could become. But it's also this feeling of you needing to recognize that people are not their potential. People are not who they could become. People are who they are right now. And even in certain situations where you want to see the best in it, it's also needing to take off those rose-colored glasses for a moment and say, you know what? This person treats me like shit, or this is just a shitty situation. I also want to say that you guys, I don't know, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a Libra energy, but I also want to say that you guys need to also be better listeners to the people in your life. I feel like some of you play this, you play both sides a little bit. You almost want to see both sides of the story. I want to say there's people that are currently in your life that feel like you don't listen to them, or that you don't listen to how they feel, because it's almost this feeling of you guys are always trying to be like a therapist for people, telling them like, you know, what about if we tried this to better the situation? And some people in your life just want you to recognize the situation for what it is. I think you guys are a very positive person. I feel like people probably tell you you're very bubbly, you smile all the time, which is fine, but Spirit is saying we're 50% light, we're 50% shadow, and I think you guys are missing the 50% shadow. You're missing 50% of the situation. The light aspects are amazing, but you also have to see down below. You have to see what's beneath the surface. And I think you guys don't see that enough of what's beneath the surface. And I get it, guys. You want to see everything for what it could be, but sometimes I think that could be your blockage, because you run into this problem of giving people second chances and them disappointing you again. You run into this problem of expecting more and getting less, so you probably get disappointed a lot because you want people to show up for you, and then they just disappoint you again, and then you give them a second chance, and then, you know, it kind of happens all over again. And so there is this feeling of acceptance, you know? When you accept what is, you kind of gain more control, because it's like you're not so much in a resistant energy. When you're constantly trying to change something that can't be changed, you're gonna feel like you're pushing up against a brick wall. So I feel like you guys honestly sometimes face a lot of resistance in your life because you're trying to move brick walls. And I think the question you need to ask yourself is, why am I trying to move brick walls? Why? Okay, so there's a brick wall. You're trying to move the brick wall so that you can get through. Why not just turn around and walk around it? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. That could maybe help you guys out a little bit. Okay, so I do want to get a little bit more clarity for you guys. So we're going to see, Spirit, can we get a little bit more clarity on this message of, okay, Seven of Swords reverse. Okay. Interesting. We had the King of Rods reverse, the Two of Swords reverse. Very interesting. I do want to go, okay, 3 of Swords, bottom of the deck. Okay, well, first and foremost, guys, the 7 of Swords reverse. So let's talk about the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords is a very deceitful energy. It's someone who tries to play what you want, what they want you to see, okay? But I'm getting that there is more to somebody in your life than meets the surface, okay? I want to say that you guys want to see the... you guys don't like being confused. You guys don't like being at a roadblock. So it's easier for you to just bypass the roadblocks. But that's the problem within itself, is like, I don't know, like when you, it's almost this feeling, how can I explain this? It's this feeling of like, Spirit, can you give me an example? Okay, this is the example that comes to mind. You keep spilling, like you keep staining your rug or your carpet. And so you keep covering it up with a rug, and then you keep covering it up with a rug. Well, eventually you're gonna have a bunch of rugs. It's like, I don't know why this example is coming to me, but it's like, you can't keep just pushing the problem to the side and covering it up with something. You know, you can't keep duct taping the cracked vase. You know, eventually you might just have to accept the vase is broke, let's get a new vase. You know what I mean? This could even be talking about a person in your life. You can't just keep bypassing what this person, you can't keep bypassing the way that this person is treating you. You can't keep just saying, you know, maybe, well, they won't do it next time. It's almost like this feeling of you guys cover up the truth so that you don't have to deal with it in the moment. It's this feeling of needing to just bring all your problems to the surface instead of hiding them, is the feeling that I'm getting. I was trying to explain that. I literally could not think of what to say. Okay, so let's see what the 7 of Swords is. We also have the 9 of Pentacles reverse. What is the King of Rods? What are blockages for pile 2? Strength reverse. As well as death. Okay. The Chariot in the reverse. Okay, so there's a couple different things coming through. Some of you, I even want to say, are maybe like deceiving yourself a little bit with the 7 of Swords reverse. You know, pretending that you're in a good place doesn't always get you to a good place. Sometimes accepting that we're not where we want to be financially can kind of help us think of a way to be where we want to be financially. But it's like this feeling of like, yes, fake it till you make it can work when you want to manifest something. But with what I'm getting for you guys is there's also this feeling of needing to accept. Sometimes like, I'm a little bit sad, or, you know, this is going wrong in my life. I feel like you guys don't like to see things that are going wrong in your life. For some of you, it makes you feel like you appear weak. And that simply just is not true. It's like this feeling of you've got to accept what's happening. Okay? It's almost like this breakdown moment of like, you guys went through a really hard thing in your life, and then you just get right back up the next day and you put on your happy face, and then you keep doing that over and over again, putting on your happy face. You know, how many times can you cover up, you know, the sadness with your happy face? Eventually, you're going to have that breakdown moment. But I do feel like with the King of Wands, I feel like you guys always try to have a very good attitude, especially about your future. You guys want to see the best for your future. But I think that kind of causes more issues than good things in your life, is kind of what I'm getting. It kind of makes you go more backwards than forwards, because it's almost like you have this lineup of issues that you completely bypass, and it's like eventually you're gonna have to come back and fix them all. So you might as well fix them right now. And I feel like with this Death card, I feel like you guys are about to go through a massive transformation, because it's almost this feeling of like you're finally just going to start noticing all of those things that you've bypassed for so long. It's almost gonna take a weight off of your chest, because it's like you guys have been pretending for so long is what I'm getting. You know, pretending that things are okay, pretending that everything's going great, when sometimes it's like you're confused. You know what I mean? And sometimes you're feeling low. Sometimes you don't feel in a good energy. Sometimes you're angry. You know, sometimes you're not feeling so confident. But why do I want to say that you guys feel like it's almost this feeling of either you feeling like you can't break down, or you feeling like if I don't pretend that everything is okay, I'm not going to manifest the life I desire. Some of you fear that if you're in that lower vibration that you're not going to be able to manifest the things you want, but that's simply not true. Sometimes there are just tough emotions and tough things that we have to work through. So I'm gonna get like 2 more tarot cards. We do have the Tower. It's almost like this breakdown moment. It's almost like this feeling of like you can't keep using super glue for everything. You know, eventually you might just have to buy a new one, buy a new thing. Queen of Pentacles, 5 of Swords reverse. You know, maybe even needing to see the truth of a particular situation, walking away from it instead of trying to fix the problem, just accepting that this is never gonna work. We do have the Queen of Pentacles here, so it almost feels like the minute you guys stop being a people pleaser, the minute you guys stop trying to fix everyone else's problems, you kind of can start focusing on yourself more, and you kind of can start focusing maybe on your craft more, is what I'm getting. I almost want to say you guys also try to fix everybody's problems. Let's see, what is this Queen of Pentacles? 9 of Cups. Yeah. The minute you just kind of like, I don't know. Here's kind of the energy that I'm getting. It's almost like when you're meditating, and it's kind of like we always feel like we have to meditate in just pure quietness. And it's like if there's one noise, we just get so frustrated. We're like, oh, it needs to be quiet. But it's almost this feeling of just blending in with your surroundings. What about if we just accepted that noise? Then all of a sudden that noise becomes a part of the quietness. And I kind of feel like that's what you guys need to do. Let the noise become a part of your quietness. That's what I've been wanting to say the whole reading. Let the noise become a part of your quietness. You don't always have to be happy to feel good. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have days where you're feeling 20%. You're gonna have days where you feel 75%. That's all okay. You're a human being, okay? Just because there's a fight, it doesn't have to mean, it doesn't take away from that inner peace. Just because something isn't perfect doesn't mean it takes away from your peace. Just because you're not exactly where you want to be financially doesn't mean it takes away from your financial abundance. Just because there's a decision to make doesn't mean you still can't have inner peace. Sometimes it's this feeling of like that's just how life is. It's almost like you guys needing to accept that life is messy. Life is just messy. But I feel like you guys try to keep it so perfect, and that's your blockage. It causes so much frustration because everything has to be perfect. But when we accept the messiness, we're able to just truly, you know, become what we want to become. Because those little frustrations that we always used to experience, they suddenly don't become frustrations anymore. Again, all of that noise starts to become a part of our quietness. I hope that makes sense, guys. So we're gonna get a few more oracle cards. And I think with this Death card, you guys are about to have a massive transformation, because things that used to be frustrating to you, things that used to be problems to you, are all of a sudden not going to be problems anymore. It's going to be insane. So let's see. We have sensitivity. I think it's this feeling of like needing to accept that you are a little bit sensitive. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, even having some compassion for yourself. This says you are extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. It's almost like you don't honor when you're feeling sad. You don't honor when you're feeling frustrated. You know, oftentimes I say like emotions are communicators to what we need to change. But if you're not acknowledging those communicators, you're never going to change. And sometimes change is good to get where we want to go. Okay? So let's get a Moonology card for you, pile 2. This is honestly a beautiful reading. I feel like I needed this. Okay, we got 2 cards that just flew out, so give me a moment. We also have the answers you need are coming. Okay, yeah, when we surrender to confusion, that's when the answers truly show up. When we try to force the answer, we almost resist it. We just keep pushing it away. But when we allow, when we just step back for a minute, that's when the answer is able to flow to us. It's like you're going against the current. Flow with the current. Something falls over, flow with it. Something falls, you know, it's like bend, don't break. It's like you guys need to be more flexible. Expect powerful change. Look at that. Death in this card. You guys are about to make some very powerful changes in your life. And I think the reason you're making these changes is because you're finally being like, yep, I should have changed that a long time ago. I just pretended it was okay when it wasn't. You know, sometimes things are bad and then you just need to change them to make them become better. So I think there are a lot of major changes that you're about to make in your life. And I think the reason you're making these changes is because you're going to start recognizing that doesn't make me happy. I'm going to change that. This doesn't make me happy. I'm going to change that. Where in the past, you just pretended that it made you happy. You pretended that it fulfilled you. Freedom. This is going to give you so much freedom because when we step into that state of allowance, that's when we find true inner peace. I kind of want to bring up something. I went to a show to go see Oprah and she interviewed Lady Gaga. And for the longest time, Lady Gaga said that she had chronic pain. And the thing that helped her get through it is radical acceptance. You know what I mean? It's like when we keep looking at ourselves and we just see our scars and we're like, oh, I want to change that. You know, I want to change this. But it's like when we just accept our scars for what they are, that's when we truly step into our power. Okay, I hope that helped you guys out. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if it resonated, and I'm gonna move on to pile 3. Hi, beautiful souls that chose pile 3, or this card right here. We are gonna go ahead and flip it over and see what blockages you have and kind of what you can do to move through them and work through them. So let's kind of see. Let's go ahead and take a look. Surrender stress. Okay, so maybe some of you are just feeling a little bit stressed out lately. Let's kind of read this card. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. So, when I think stress, I think an uncontrollable situation. I think of something as if you have to go to work, but you don't want to go to work, and it's causing you stress. You have to go do something, but you don't want to do it, so it's causing you stress. So why are you doing it, Spirit says? What are you doing that is causing you stress, and why are you continuing to do it? And so a lot of your blockages are around working through belief systems, is what I'm getting. And I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into this. So maybe some of you, this is the example that's coming to mind, so kind of compare it to your situation. Some of you, there's this job, okay? Maybe this will resonate with you, but just take it as an example. There's this job, and you keep going to it because you're like, well, it makes me money. But is the stress of it worth the money? Or would I be happier doing this even if I made a little less? But it's almost this feeling of you've always been taught you gotta work hard, you've gotta be stressed to make money, you know? I'm almost getting a lot of you have stress equals money. Why does stress have to equal money? Why can't easy equal money? Or some of you are in relationships that are just so stressful, they're just so hard, why don't they work? Because you guys have been taught, or maybe you grew up where your parents were fighting, and so you always thought that's what a relationship is. It's fighting, it's stress. And you've never truly been able to experience money without stress, love without stress, okay? And so it's almost rewiring your brain and saying, I don't have to be stressed to make money. Rewiring your brain and saying, I don't have to be stressed to be in a relationship. You know, relationships are supposed to help me grow. They're not supposed to stress me out. You know, maybe work is supposed to be fun, but you've always been taught that work is supposed to be so hard. And so I do think a lot of this pile is going to be about certain mindsets that need to be shifted, because Spirit is really wanting to ask you, okay, if you are experiencing stress, why are you still doing those things that make you stressed? And I know there's a lot of different reasons. I know it's not just easy to quit your job and leave, but Spirit's going to talk about the big picture. And I think the big picture here is, if what you're doing is causing you stress, why are you still doing it? And if what you are doing is causing you stress, you need to start figuring out an exit plan. Whether that be a job, a relationship, maybe a living environment, honestly. But we're gonna dive deeper into this. So let's get some tarot. Spirit guides, what blockages does pile 3 have, and how can they work through those? What blockages does pile 3 have? Whoa, okay. 2 of Cups reverse. Is this reverse or upright? I don't know. 2 of Cups reverse. 8 of Pentacles reverse. Okay. Okay, 6 of Pentacles reverse. We have the 5 of Wands reverse and the 10 of Cups. You guys need to work on inner harmony. Okay, you are in situations right now that are outwardly causing you stress, is what I'm getting. It's not that you have something within inside of you that is causing all this. It almost feels like an uncontrollable situation, or it feels like a situation outside of you. And the reason that I'm kind of picking up on that is the 5 of Wands. It almost feels like there are other factors that are involving this stress, other people, you know, maybe other people at your workplace, people that you have to live with that are kind of like closing in on you. So Spirit is suggesting some alone time. And usually this 10 of Cups would represent other people, but Spirit is describing this card to me a little bit different. They're saying this is what needs to happen within yourself. This needs to happen within yourself, and you don't have that right now. You don't have the inner peace that you want. The 8 of Pentacles in the reverse says you need to do some inner work and find your own inner peace, because you guys are currently in situations right now. It could definitely be relationships, guys, because we have the 2 of Cups in the reverse. The 2 of Cups in the reverse is about giving more than you're receiving when it comes to your relationships, caring more about another person than they care about you. And that would cause you stress because you feel like you're doing more than this other person is doing, but you're not getting recognized for it and you're not getting anything in return. And this is also represented by the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. You feel like you are giving into something that is not giving back the same amount of energy as you. And that's why you guys are experiencing this stress, or that's why you're experiencing, you know, a feeling of maybe even anxiety, maybe even a little bit of inner conflict. But I want to say that this 5 of Wands in the reverse is more a suggestion of needing to get away from conflict. And I'm going to go back to the first message. Why stay in this chaos? Why? And I think the way you can work through your blockages is first asking that. Why am I still in this chaos? Some of you are going to say, you know, I have to make money. Perfect. Okay, write that down. Now I need to figure out a way to bring in income. I need to figure out a way to make money in a different way, not this job. Because if this job is causing you stress, you need to have a game plan to make money in a new way, is what Spirit is saying. You can sit there and you can be stressed and you can be like, oh, I'm never gonna get out of this. But that's the problem here. You need to start figuring out how you're going to get out of it. And I know that is easier said than done, and this feels super blunt and it feels super harsh, but you do need to ask yourself that bigger question of, do I wanna be in this forever? Do I wanna be in this situation forever that is causing me stress? And if you don't, you need to start slowly working towards an exit plan, a way to get out of it. So let's get one more card for the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, because this is not a great energy, guys, because it even almost feels like you feel as if you're being underpaid. Your work is not being recognized. Some of you are just feeling like you are not being recognized. It doesn't matter what you do, someone's yelling at you. It doesn't matter what you do, people are not recognizing you for what you're putting on the table. And so it's also, maybe even in your relationships, needing to be around people who appreciate you. That's another message that I'm getting, is like, why are you hanging around people? Why are you in situations that don't appreciate you? Why are you hanging around people that don't respect you? Okay? And I know this is all easier said than done, but that's just what Spirit is wanting to bring through. So let's clarify the Six of Pentacles reversed for you guys, just to see a little bit deeper into what this is. Six of Swords reversed, slowly moving away from whatever the situation is. And I know it's easier said than done, but I honestly want to say that you guys could be reaching a breaking point. With stress here, stress is just not a good energy. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to get out of stress is to remove what is causing it, okay? And I feel like that is how you remove the blockage, essentially, because it's not you. It's not necessarily something that you can fix within yourself. I could go and say, go meditate and blah, 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 but it doesn't really feel like that's the problem. It feels like it is an outer source causing it. It's something from the outside pushing in. It's going inside of you. It's not from the inside outwardly. It's that person in your life. It's the people around you. And it's needing to maybe start looking for your soul tribe, start looking for people that appreciate you more, start looking for a job that serves you more, that pays you more, or pays you what you think you deserve to be paid. So let's take a look. I want to dive into some oracle messages. Feels like a pretty straightforward message, but it is something that you need to ask yourself. Is, do I want to be in this situation forever? Do I want to be in this relationship forever? What blockages? Comfort. I love that. Okay. I feel like maybe this is something that some of you are not experiencing in your relationships, is a feeling of somebody coming to you and recognizing how you feel. Maybe you feel so stressed, in a situation, you go to your family or you go to your significant other and they don't comfort you in the way that you want to be comforted. And so maybe it's kind of like a double whammy is what Spirit is saying. You're stressed at your job, you come home and you're not comforted by your romantic partner. And maybe that's another issue. Maybe there's multiple pieces to this. It's not only my job, it's also my relationship. I think it almost could be multiple different things in your life. And I think you're doing everything right. It's just you finally needing to be like, fuck it, I need to set a boundary with this person. Or fuck it, I need to leave my job. That's the last step. I almost want to say you've done the inner work. But you can do as much inner work as possible, but if I jump into a pit of spiders, I'm going to get bit by spiders. You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of energy. If you jump into a pit of fire, you're going to burn. And it feels like you guys keep jumping into a pit of fire. That's kind of the example that I'm getting. Okay, let's see. Let's get a Moonology card for you guys to see some of the transitions that you guys are going to be going through. Be bold and make the first move. No one's going to give you permission to get out of something. You're going to have to almost be really bold. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and say, you know what? I don't like where I'm at, so I'm going to make a move, Or I don't like this relationship, so I'm going to break up. Because I feel like where you guys are at right now, no one's coming to save you. You're going to have to save yourself, is the energy that I'm getting. And I think you guys know that. Like, no one's coming to save me. I have to do this myself. And so you're going to have to be very bold, and you're going to have to make a decision for yourself, a very big and bold decision. Because no one's coming to save you. And also, no one's coming to give you permission to make the decision in the first place. We also have a win-win outcome, which shows when you make these decisions for yourself, you get back in return. And this is what I feel for a lot of you. This. A win-win outcome, needing to, find people, maybe get yourself involved in situations that are going to give back as much as you're giving in. is the main kind of energy. And I'm hearing some of you like a source of income. Like maybe you're trying to find a source of income. Maybe that's the issue. But it's like needing to just like, look, action. You've got to start taking those steps. If source of income is the problem, needing to find another way to make money. And I know that's easier said than done, but if you're really that unhappy, you know, is money worth unhappiness? And that's the question you're gonna have to start asking yourself. Illumination and flow and abundance. I think when you guys get yourself out of these stressful situations, it's almost going to illuminate this whole other life for you. You never knew that abundance could flow to you so easily. You never knew that relationships could be so easy because you've always been in tough situations. You guys have been trained like I almost want to say you guys have this belief system that like relationships are supposed to be tough, or I'm supposed to be giving more than they're giving back. You guys have never had a steady flowing relationship. You've never had a workplace that is just like in flow with you. You know what I mean? And it's like this feeling of like you guys can make abundance very easily. You can make it very naturally, but you've always been taught that hard work equals money. And if you're lazy, you're not going to get anything. But this whole other world is about to be illuminated where you guys are going to be able to make money doing things that are easy. You know? And this whole other world is going to be illuminated. And like, you're gonna recognize that like, OMG, like relationships are supposed to be easy. Like my partner is actually supposed to care about me. And I don't know if you guys have ever like experienced that. This flow card is telling me that like, you guys have always been going against the current because you've always been taught go against the current. That's where the treasure is. When all along they were lying to you. The treasure's behind you. Flow with the current, not against it. You know, that kind of energy. I'm gonna get a romantic card because for some of you this feels relationship involved. Look at that. 6 of Swords. They're going with the current now. You used to be going that way. Now you're kind of just flowing out of the waves. Why are we going into the waves when we could be going to calmer waters over here? Let's get a relationship card for pile 3 spirit. Oh my gosh, release your ex. Guys, 2 of Cups reverse, release your ex. There's some people you need to let go of that are just causing stress. It's other people, like this person looks stressed. The time has come to clear your energy because of this other person. It's like, it's not you that's stressing yourself out, it's this other person. And so Spirit is saying you want to release stress, release that which is causing it. So we also have unrequited love. Again, you're giving more than you're getting back. It's that same energy. Pile 3, the whole theme of the reading. We also have, it is safe for you to love as well as give your relationship a chance. It's this feeling of you needing to give new things a chance. New people a chance, new situations a chance. But you guys may be comfortable. There may be some toxic situations in your life where you're comfortable there. Like, well, I've been at this job for 10 years, or I've been with this person for 5 years, but you're gonna have to step outside of your comfort zone. You're gonna have to be bold, and you're gonna have to give something else a chance. Because this stressful thing is not going to suddenly turn unstressful. It's just not. You're gonna have to give something else a chance. Or you could just be stuck in stress. And that's kind of the energy here. It's either stay in the stressful situation or give another relationship a chance, give another job a chance to make you happier. Okay, pile 3. That was the message. So let me know if that resonated with you. Make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a brand new video. And I'm gonna move on to pile 4. Hi beautiful souls that chose pile 4, or if you chose this card right here, we're gonna go ahead and flip it over and see what your blockages are and how you can work through them. So I feel like this reading is gonna be super helpful. I'm not necessarily feeling like it's gonna be like an exciting or fun reading, but I hope this kind of helps you guys out in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so you guys got surrender your need to always be right. It says give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. You almost, I'm getting with this card, you need to see the other side of the story. You need to accept other people's points of view. And you need to also understand that not everyone thinks the same way that you do. And what you think looks good, what you think is right, is not always right. It's right in your perspective, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is what another person thinks is right. So it's like, I almost want to say that you guys need to accept that people are also going to be different from you, because I feel like you guys have a lot of trouble in your relationships because you always feel like people need to think the same way as you. And Spirit is saying that not everyone is going to think the same way as you. Not everybody is going to wear the same thing as you, and not everyone is going to think the same hairstyle looks as good as you think it does, okay? You might like pink, this person is going to like blue. So you almost have to surrender the need to be right so that you can, first of all, so that you can gain other perspectives on life. I feel like there's going to be a lot of answers that you guys receive just because I think there are other things. People's perspectives are going to offer you answers to questions that you didn't even know you had. So it's like opening up to what other people have to say, and opening up to the way other people view things is actually going to help you expand your knowledge. It's going to help you expand your perspective, and I think you could learn a lot. So there's also this feeling of like you needing to see where another person is coming from, and maybe even needing to apologize to someone and going, you know what, I'm sorry, I need to hear you out. And it's needing to say like, do I worry too much about myself? Am I a little bit self-centered? I think this could be your blockage, is you always thinking you do everything perfect, you always thinking that you do everything right. I think there is a little bit of self-centeredness here, and maybe needing to open up to other people's ideas, needing to see that like, you know, what other people have to offer is also good, you know, and needing to almost see into other people's hearts and be a little bit more compassionate, be a little bit more sensitive. I think that will help you guys out a little bit, is to kind of almost, I'm even wanting to say some of you are maybe even dealing with a situation where you need to put yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of see things from their perspective. Kind of drop your ego a little bit and maybe just go, you know what? You know, maybe you're right. You know, maybe I was overreacting, that kind of a thing. Is kind of what I'm getting. I think a lot of times you guys even think that people are attacking you. Oh, sorry for shaking the camera. I think that sometimes you guys think maybe people are like attacking you sometimes, or you think people are coming at you, but maybe they're just offering constructive criticism. I think you guys take constructive criticism very harshly. But maybe it's needing to go, you know what, maybe I will try it that way next time. Maybe that will work better. I think that's why you guys may be at a little bit of a blockage right now, because oftentimes you do like to, you know, I don't blame you. You like to be in your boss bitch energy. You like to, you know, have things under control. You have that very emperor kind of energy. You could be an Aries. You don't have to be. You like to be in control. But I think you guys, some of you have reached a roadblock, and, you know, maybe you need another person's opinion. It's like you guys are trying to unclog your toilet, but you're not a plumber, is what Spirit is saying. I know that's a weird example, but it may be time to call a plumber. You know what I mean? I feel like there is something that is very challenging to you right now that maybe someone else could give you some advice on. And, you know, Spirit is just saying, be open to that. Be open to receiving help from other people. Be open to even receiving some constructive criticism from other people, because they may just help you out more than you think. Okay, let's take a look a little bit deeper with the tarot into pile 4, Spirit. Some clarity, please, on what their blockages are and what they can do to work through them. Okay, we have the 9 of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, and the Death card in the reverse. It's almost this feeling of even like letting people help you. I can definitely see that with the 10 of Wands. You guys take on a lot of energy because you like to be in your independence. But I almost want to say there's this feeling of needing to surrender your independence a little bit. Allow other people to offer ideas. Allow other people to offer like help. I think you guys are very resistant to change. I think you've always done something a very particular way, but there may be other ideas that come your way. You guys may have a very set routine and you like to follow this routine. But there may be an easier way, and this easier way may be offered from someone that is not you. And I think you guys need to be open to that. It's like you're working hard, not smart. And there may be this other person that shows you an easier way to do something, and Spirit is just saying, don't be resistant to change. Like, just because it didn't come from your mind doesn't mean it's not a good idea. You know what I mean? I do feel like you guys have this tendency to want to be very independent, and maybe there are reasons for that. Maybe you've grown up and your parents weren't as involved in your life as you would want them to be. So you had to grow up and you had to be very independent. But I want to say that there's this feeling of people wanting to help you, and that people want to give you ideas, and people want to give you support. And so allow them to support you. Allow people to take some of the burden off of you so you don't have to do it all alone anymore. You know what I mean? I think there was a time in your life where being independent and being alone served you, but it does not feel like it serves you anymore. And I think you guys are very resistant to this change because people have disappointed you in the past. And trust me, I know that more than anyone, so I can definitely relate. I've been scared to make new friends because I saw how, people in the past have treated me, or I've been scared to get in, connections with people because I've seen how people in the past have treated me. But it almost feels like for some of you, there's people that actually care about you, and you need to allow them to care about you. Because I think it could take off a lot of your burdens. I think it could take off a lot of your stress. It's almost this feeling of you don't have to do it alone anymore. It could even be your spirit guides wanting to help you out a little bit more, and you needing to step out of your ego and more into a flow, an intuitive flow, a feminine flow. Stepping out of your masculine energy a little bit, which is very controlling, it's very action oriented, and stepping a little bit more into the feminine energy where we're in a state of flow and we're in a state of acceptance. It's almost this feeling of like, I've always done it this way, but there's a better way to do it. And it's like being open to that better way to do it, even if you didn't think of it. So let's take a look. Queen of Swords reverse, 10 of Wands, let's see the World reverse, Ace of Rods. Yeah, let your guard down a little bit is what I'm getting, pile 4. Death in the reverse, please, Spirit. 4 of Cups reverse. Okay. You guys are almost stressing yourself out for no reason. It's this feeling of you needing to allow things to be different, okay? I think you guys are holding yourself back because either you feel like these new ideas aren't going to work, or you're just very resistant because you've never maybe some of you, honestly, I'm getting need to open up when it comes to a relationship. You need to share your feelings a little bit more. It's kind of what I'm getting. It's like needing to end an old cycle. The World card in the reverse, needing to end the cycle of overworking yourself and maybe just letting other people take on that burden, needing to end the cycle of overthinking to the point of anxiety, and needing to almost allow people to think for you. It's like, it almost is this feeling of like people want to help you. There's these offerings coming in from nowhere, but you guys are almost resisting it for some reason. You're being very defensive about it. And maybe some of you are even being very cold about it. You don't want people's help, or you're kind of acting like, I don't need your help. I can be independent. But it's needing to ask yourself, why not accept the help? Why not be open to other ideas? Why am I being so resistant to change is what I'm kind of getting. Why am I not open to doing things a different way? Just because you always have done something that way does not necessarily mean that it's the right way to do it. I do feel like with the Queen of Swords in the reverse, some of you feel like you're not being heard. Is kind of the energy that I'm getting, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think you've always just had the mic, and it's almost this feeling of maybe needing to let other people have the mic because other people have amazing things to say too. And I know this sounds super harsh, but we are tuning into blockages, and I think that could be one of your blockages. Needing to listen to people more, needing to be more open to other people's opinions, needing to be more open to other people's ideas, and needing to be more open to what other people have to say. You know, because that's important too. It's gonna change your perspective on life. It's gonna maybe open a whole new world for you, okay, that you've never seen before. So let's dive into some oracle cards. Spirit, can you give a little bit more clarity on what pile 4's blockage is? I just heard you have trust issues. That's another problem. You guys you have trust issues with people. You're always on high alert. You always feel like you gotta be cold towards people, or you gotta set a boundary because you're scared people are gonna hurt you, or you feel like people are somehow gonna drag you down. But I'm getting this feeling of you needing to work through, you know, your past trauma, because you don't always wanna have your guard up. You know, you don't always want to have a guard dog energy. And I think that's what you guys have been in a lot lately. It's kind of like a guard dog energy, you know, I almost want to say it's like this feeling of like, maybe they don't want to hurt me. Maybe they want to help me. And you needing to see the difference of someone who wants to hurt you and like betray you, and you also needing to see the people that actually want to be there for you and actually want to support you. Because I do feel like there are people that want to support you all as well. Why are you stressed? You know, I don't feel like there's anything that you need to be stressed about, but you're almost creating your own stress. It's like, because you just sometimes need to let things go. You can't keep reliving what happened in the past. You can't keep reliving what somebody else did to you. Your ex, you can't compare your new partner with your ex. You have to let it go. Because these new people that come into your life and these new situations that come into your life, you have to give them a chance to prove themselves to you. Okay, let's take a look. I'm gonna get one more of these. We also have, wow, relationship harmony. I really can't make this up. That's just what we were talking about. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved. Open up to what the other person wants to say if you're in a conflict. I think you need to see both sides. There's something about needing to see both sides of the story, because I think that will allow some harmony to happen between you and another person. Let's take a look at the Moonology to see what transitions are happening for you. Step out of your comfort zone. Okay. I think this is a little bit out of your comfort zone because you're used to having all the control. It's like Spirit is saying you're used to being at the control panel, but it's almost like allow someone else to control things for you, because I do feel like it would relieve a lot of your stress. I think you just have trust issues because the last time you gave up control, or the last time you gave up power, it didn't get done right, is kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Or you feel like you're the only one that can do it right, and if you let other people do it, it just doesn't get done. But I almost want to say there is this feeling of like, do you want to live the rest of your life where you have to take on everything, or are you going to allow people to help you? Because I almost want to say there are certain things right now in your life that you could be working on. There are certain opportunities that you could be taking right now in your life if you would divvy out the obligations that you have. Let this person do that. Let this person do that, so that you can focus on something different that you've been wanting to do for quite some time. Because I almost want to say there are certain things in your life that could be done by somebody else, but they're taking so much of your time, and so you're not able to do other things that you would want to do, or you're not able to get as much done as you want to get done in a day because you won't surrender control. You won't let other people prove themselves to you a little bit. So let's see another oracle card for you, pile 4. 2, I guess. Adventures in Solitude. I almost want to say some of you want to go on vacation, let someone watch your dogs. You know what I mean? Just like let someone house sit for a change. Go have an adventure and let someone else, you know, take over your job for the day. You know what I'm saying? Go have some alone time and let someone else babysit your kids. You know, I promise they're going to do a good job. Go have some fun and let someone else take those obligations that you just hold on to. There's this feeling of, I'm the only one that can hold down the fort. And if I go have fun, or if I go off and do something different, you know, and have some fun for myself or have some alone time, people just aren't going to do things right. But it's like, how do you know if you don't give people a chance? I feel like a broken record, but I want to get some romantic cards as well, some love cards. Is there anything else, Spirit, for pile 4? The damage is done, is what I'm hearing. The damage is done. I'm not sure why I'm hearing that. Is there any more blockages for pile 4 that they can work through? We have reconciliation. I do feel there is this energy of you reconnecting with someone and harmony being restored in a relationship and you guys finally understanding each other's points of view. I do see that for some of you. We also have passion, restoring maybe passion within a connection. Pay attention to red flags. Keep an open mind. Okay. So in terms of love, I do feel like there could be a certain situation where you are noticing red flags and you do need to be aware of that. I feel like that message is completely outside of what we're talking about. So if that is something that you're noticing, trust that energy, is what I'm getting. Spirit is not saying to not listen to your intuition, but when your intuition isn't signaling red flags, it's also needing to trust that as well, is needing to understand that yes, there are bad things, but there are also good things and needing to understand the difference between the two. Okay, pile 4, so let me know if this resonated with you. Make sure to subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified every time I upload a brand new video, and I will see all of you beautiful souls on the next one. Bye, guys.